All right, so we think about the pre-runner, right? You're using it as your advanced vehicle to go out and check out the actual course. Well, what happens when you want to actually race? Well, then that takes us, Christopher, to your actual trophy truck. Now, we know it has 1,000 horsepower. We know it's got a massive big block V8 under the hood, but tell people all the finite details. What makes this the F1 of off-roading?
All right, well, we'll start off, like you said, 1,000 horsepower. It's four-wheel drive, which is pretty unique, given that it has 24 inches of travel in the front, 30 inches of travel in the rear, similar to the pre-runner. But this is all electronic shocks. It's got Fox Live valves, so it's got a computer on board that's actively tuning
Milliseconds of adjustment.
Yep, it can make. It's thousands of change every seconds. It's just making and adjusting as we're flying through the air. It's able to go, oh, I've been in the air for 5 seconds. This is going to be a really big hit because we're flying through the air, and make all the adjustments front to rear.
Chassis. So start with chassis and let's build it up, right? So you're building this in a garage, right? Like this is full R&D building the chassis. Tell us about the
full
chassis.
tube chassis. So they don't start as a vehicle or anything. It all literally starts as raw metal, gets fully assembled on a table, and then from there built out. A lot of the A-arms and stuff are all CNC machined, and then we have portals, which are gear reduction things to give us more travel, given our four-wheel drive. Super advanced 6-speed transmission, front diff and transfer case that's integrated to one. So what's unique about this is it's a mid-engine car or truck, but the engine's actually mounted backwards. So it goes engine, tranny, front diff, which is also a transfer.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
Because you want more power up front?
It's just a way to make the drivetrain kind of all fit in such a tight package. I know it's a huge truck, but there's so much going on, and it has to be so beefy to last 1,000 miles of Baja, just of use. So things get big. So yeah, engine, tranny, front diff. So actually, the rear wheels they're getting driven all the way from up here. There's a drive shaft all the way to the back.
Holy, I had no idea that was the actual makeup and geometry. So from a weight distribution standpoint, it's got to be closer to 50-50.
Correct.
And that's how you want it, especially with the mid-mount engine in the back.
Correct.
You said 30 inches of travel?
Correct.
And that's all CNC machined?
Yep, they're big. Well, I mean, the shocks themselves are big Fox, but all the suspension parts, A-arms and stuff, majority of them are CNC machined or just built. They're plated metal, basically.
All right, and on the pre-runner, we had the Megazilla motor. What is the motor in this?
This 555 cubic inch, big block, fully aluminum race engine. Yeah, just kind of the baddest of the bad is when it comes to a naturally aspirated big block.
And then how do you marry up your exhaust on this? What is it you've got from an exhaust standpoint?
There's not much exhaust.
Just leave it straight pipe right open.
Straight pipe, but we do have a boiler exhaust on it to try to quiet it down. A big thing people don't think about is we're in these cars for 12 to 24 hours. So the loudness, the fatigueness, if this thing was just straight screamer, after 12 hours of that, your head wants to explode. Dying. So we do that. And a big thing, we have a navigator. If we can't talk to each other efficiently because the motor's too loud, it doesn't work very good. So that's another reason we run the boiler exhaust, which a goal of ours is we keep trying to get it quieter and quieter, which sounds crazy, but from the outside.
No, it sounds, I mean, I'm telling you, riding it is loud. It is so loud. I'm shouting at you and you're like, dude, you don't need to shout at me. I can hear you because great comm system. So let's talk about the technology on the inside, right? So as we look on the inside, I'm seeing a lot of carbon fiber, obviously to keep the weight down, full Recaro racing seats. What about the technology? What are you using when you're out there on the course, right? Do you have Wi-Fi, connectivity?
Yep.
Are you communicating with your team? You got a chase helicopter? Lay that out for people that are watching.
All kinds of goodies. So we'll start off. I mean, it's got 1,400 different data points. When this charge starts on, it's recording 1,400 different points of data, whether that's steering position, engine temp, shock position, all kinds of stuff. To connect to it, we have 2 Starlinks and then 2 5G networks that all go into one unit. Then that's able to send out. So we're able to do live telemetry. So I can have a guy in Las Vegas actively tuning it when we're in Mexico. He can hop on and go, oh, we're starting to lose something or whatever, and able to make adjustments. It's really key for us too. we're monitoring stuff, but we're bouncing through the desert. So having someone else really monitoring it, but it's a full Motec system, so it's extremely smart. It's kind of monitoring itself too. But like you said, there's tons of different crazy stuff. Paddle shifters, full 9 yards, you know, almost F1 style steering wheel with all kinds of different buttons and stuff.
So talk about steering wheel geometry, right? You think about a normal vehicle, you got a lot of give, it's meant to be comfortable. Is this tight? Is it more conformed to your style? Do you tune the steering?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, so we play with steering. I mean, I personally like a really nice, easy steering, but then for us, it's durability. So we're kind of right in the medium right now. That fits my driving style, but it's definitely harder to steer than your everyday.
And are you paddle shifting the whole time, or you're also down? This is your brake right here, right? So,
yep, that's a cutting brake.
Yeah, so you're using that and you're back and forth on and off cutting brake, back and forth cutting brake.
Yeah, cutting brake, it's not one of our most common tools, but we do use it in some of the tighter stuff for sure. But the paddles, we're constantly shifting. It's a 6-speed, so you're always changing.
Always changing gears. Talk about braking on this.
4-wheel Brembo brakes, huge, I mean, 4-piston, just giant. It's one of our, you know, braking is key for this thing. It almost weighs 8,000 pounds. So that's a lot of mass going from 120 down to a lot of times, you know, 10 miles an hour in a nice tight corner. So braking is very important for us. We're always kind of evolving, playing with brake pads. I think that's a big driver preference, is different materials.
Top speed?
145 miles an hour.
What do you guys think? Should I get in and go for a ride? Find out if this thing is really as good as Christopher says it is? I think there's only one thing left to do. Saddle up. All right, so we are inside now, and you know, at 24 years old, many are looking at Chris Polvoorde as one of the premier Baja 1000 or just trophy truck drivers. He's going to take us out for a hot lap, couple runs here in the desert. Actually going to take us back to Hammertown, and he's going to show us what 1,000 horsepower will do. We're going to talk along the way. It's going to get loud. It's going to get bumpy, but most importantly, it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do it.
And then you can hit that the snare brake, and then there's like a fan, little 2 knobs.
Yeah.
You can adjust one's coldness and one's your fan temperature.
Okay, bring on the cold air.
Yeah. All right,
All right, here we go, right out. He's gonna warm it up a little bit. A little bit of back and forth. So right now, tell me what you're doing, Chris.
we're just getting a little bit of temp in. The transmission, the engine, the steering, the brakes. These things don't like to operate on cold.
Alright, now we're starting to hit some speed. 80, 90, 103, 110. I'm amazed how smooth it is here in the lake, on the dry lake.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually as impressed with the driving as I am the communication system. I can't believe how easy it is to hear you.
Oh yeah. I spent a lot of time.
And the brakes are just insane.
Oh yeah.
Now, when you're out on a dry lake bed like this, you have to take more precaution, like will the tires grab? You know, how do you determine rollover?
Wheel speed.
Wheel speed.
If you got enough wheel speed, hopefully it should, you know, the chances of it catching are all less. But you can.
So it just absorbs everything.
Oh yeah. With these tires the size they are.
Wow. 80 miles an hour.
as you guys are watching this video, I want you to focus in on Christopher's driving. I want you to think about the fact that this is a 24-year-old young man going 110 miles an hour out in the middle of the desert. No holds barred. This is what it's all about. It's all about racing. Chris, tell everyone about your love for this sport.
It's kind of my obsession, you know. I grew up in this world, and I'm very fortunate to get to do it every day. So, you know, it's one of those things that's an adventure. Every time you get this truck, there's something new about it. You never know. You know, it's never the same track over and over. It's always changing.
Talk about the technology here by me turning off the light. So, as we think about communication, you're so used to it. For me as a novice, amazing to see the technology. We look at this race truck, but they're way more advanced than that. Talk about the technology inside, starting with just the performance, the suspension.
Yep.
You know, what we're doing. You know, how the vehicles operate.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different technologies on board, but I mean, it's all electronic shifting, all kinds of throttle, but the shocks are fully electric. Those are computers actively tuning as we're going across the desert right now at 80 to 100 miles an hour. It's making adjustments as we hit these bumps.
So if we think about the Baja 1000, the type of terrain,
Yeah.
this is what we're on right now. This is just kind of child's play, easy stuff.
To a point, yes. Baja is a whole other level. It's extremely violent, extremely grueling, difficult, and unpredictable. This terrain is very
What makes Baja such a challenge?
I think you're seeing all kinds of different environments. You're on the mountains, you're in the desert, you're on the beach. You're seeing these different types of terrain nonstop, and it's different every time you see it. You have cows on the road, you have spectators on the road, you have, I mean, it's just, you never know what's around the next corner. And I think a big part of it too is you're extremely remote. So if something does happen, you know, help is not close.
What about, you know, we talked about 1,000 horsepower. You know, we're talking about the performance. What are we talking about as far as fuel economy? This has got to be sucking some fuel.
Yeah, we're really happy if we can get around 1.8 miles per gallon. But it plays a thing. So our goal is to be just under 2 miles per gallon. That's an efficient car in our world.
And you said the Baja 1000 is about 8 hours a day in peak, and you do it how many days?
No, it's one shot go, so 24 hours.
24 hours start to finish.
Start to finish. This truck will never turn off, and it'll never come to a stop more than 30 seconds just to get fuel and tires.
And of the drivers that are out there, I talked about the fact that you're 24.
Yeah.
How old are most of the drivers that are competing in the Baja 1000?
I'd say about 30 years old, 30 to 40. I'm definitely one of the younger, definitely a more mature man's sport because it's endurance racing.
So for you, what is next? What would you do after this?
Hopefully win the Baja 1000, but then we'll see. I'd like to do Dakar possibly, but we'll just see where the world takes me. Dream big, right?
So Dakar is a dream.
Dakar is definitely next on my list. Baja 1000's been at the top of my list, which we're getting close to achieving that. So, you know, it's now what's next.
You know, it's gotta feel pretty awesome to be a young guy in this sport. Looking by those guys over there, they're just like, wow.
No, it's definitely
Unbelievable technology.
it's pretty cool. I mean, I
So,
used to drive
how
the
many-
spaceship.
How many races do you do a year?
About 5 only typically. Since there's such endurance races, it takes a lot of prep. But 5.
Right. What would you tell, if you could go back again, what would you tell your younger self?
Just keep my head down, because it is achievable. I never really thought I'd be behind the wheel of a trophy truck at 24, but I always dreamed big. Here, we'll open it up to show you a little right here. It's your float.
It's just like, you get a little emotional when you're in here. You're like, man.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, we're going across 4-foot bumps right now, pretty casually.
Wow. Your reaction time. I mean, have you ever been tested for your reaction time?
No.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, you build a good tolerance up. When you're going across the desert, you have very little time to make a decision.
It's incredible. If there was something you'd want people to know about you, what is it?
I don't know. I mean,
Something unrelated to racing. Are you a gamer?
am I a what?
Are you a gamer?
No gamer. Just kind of an adrenaline junkie. I wake up every day just trying to push myself, I guess. I like going out. I'm mainly an outdoors person. If I'm outdoors, I'm happy.
Right. And how often are you practicing actually getting this kind of time?
Not as much as we want, but I mean, I'm always training in different ways. Mountain bike, cycling, go-karts, sim, all kinds of different stuff. But in this, we're testing about once a month.
I'm just enamored at how calm you are.
Yeah, you become just one with the machine after a while.
Wow. Incredible. Unbelievable.
What do you think of that?
Unbelievable.
Pretty.
Unbelievable. Dude, that is insane.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So you want to know what it takes to be a real trophy truck professional? You have got to follow Christopher Polvoorde he is the premier at this. At 24 years old, he is doing things that many of us dream of doing. Dude, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking me out on this unbelievable hot lap in your trophy truck.
Glad we got you in. It's pretty fun to share. I think that's, one of my favorite parts about my job is getting to share it with people. Because it's incredible.
I don't even know how to explain that last quarter mile. Like, I looked over, I was trying to look over, and I could see it in your eyes. You were even smiling.
Yeah.
Like, the fun that you get to have day in and day out is just insanely incredible.
Yeah, it's fun. Nothing quite like it.
Unbelievable out there driving this. I cannot believe how fast. What do you think the top was we were going?
We did like 120 something.
120 miles and out there, out in the middle of the desert, just shredding in this trophy truck. Just unbelievable speed. I just can't believe how fast, like, and that last quarter mile was, hold on 1 second. I gotta have you do it. This is the one that was stuck yesterday. There we go.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show you, how like nimble and just, I mean, when it gets in tight stuff, I mean, it will just go.
I mean, I think we were probably, how fast were we going in those switchbacks?
40,
40, right?
Probably 50, 60.
But most trucks that go through there are going 15 tops.
Yeah.
And you were just hook left, hook right, hook left, hook right. I mean, it was incredible. And then out there, just in the whoops, right?
Yeah.
106, 110.
Just over 5 foot whoops. That's what you don't realize when you're on top of them. Like, they're literally 4 to 5 feet deep. Like, they're mountains. They're mini mountains.
Unbelievable. All I can tell you is that when people watch this video, I mean, you started at 10 years old.
Yeah.
And now you are 24, blazing the trail. And everyone out here is a competitor, right? I totally get it, but this is this is next level. This is the F1 of the off-road community.
It is.
Last words, give it to us.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to take it. It's fun to share. It's fun to share people how capable and amazing these things are, because they are spaceships.
It is. It truly is. Hey, I hope you all enjoyed this video in as much as I loved bringing it to you. If you guys are not following me on all my social channels, you better, at It's Mike Caudill. And then, of course, where you're seeing this, baby, Chasing Horsepower. Talk about 1,000 horsepowers under my ass in this race car. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, Christopher, taking us for this hot lap, man. All right, I don't know how I can top this one out, but that's it for me here. 2025, King of Hammers, baby. Bringing it to you guys.